Well,
It just dropped
Travis
today.
first. What was that, Travis?
I had some lag issues going on. Logan, I said Future Wrestling Podcast episode just dropped today. Welcome back, buddy. Where can everybody check you out? What's going on? And welcome.
Well, first, you guys can check me out on Twitter at LoganMyers144. But as for Colin, I'm going to introduce myself every single week until you know exactly who I am, starting tonight. So I'm Logan, the man who's on your girlfriend's speed dial because she likes the way I 69 her, Myers.
Logan Gertner representing. How's the neck? I hope the neck brace is purple or pink or some fluorescent color tonight, Logan. And Colin, my man from Pro Wrestling Roundtable. Check those guys out over on Jay Hebert's side's YouTube channel. Colin, what's going on, buddy? Welcome back. How was your week? You saw it. Good things happening.
It, awesome. 10 out of 10 movie. Loved it. Logan, my girlfriend for the last year and a half is my right hand, so you know what? I don't know where the fuck you're going with that one. But yeah, it's a good day. It's been a fun day of wrestling.
That was an unexpected, funner episode of 205 Live that we've grown accustomed to. But yeah, anyone tonight stops by the chat, we'll be sure to man the chat and hit you guys up. And thank you for stopping by. But guys, let's get right into it. I did not happen to catch, I caught three things of Smackdown tonight. And real quick, follow me on Twitter at the HibickyTMD and HibickyTMD on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that like, all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing coming out of Smackdown, we all knew this whole Kevin Owens, Mr. McMahon, guys, was the biggest buzz going on tonight, real quick. We all knew it was probably going to eventually lead to Owens pulling a Randy Orton from 09 on the road to WrestleMania 25, where he kicked Vince in the head, something like that, but not this. He straight up went Don Fry up on this episode. What did you, Logan, what did you think of how that was executed, and just the shock of Vince getting busted the hard way, like a madman that he is?
Well, I was honestly going to say that Vince McMahon is like the Oscar of lawsuits, and at 72 years old, Vince McMahon might be the oldest man in WWE history to bleed the hard way.
Did this put it over the top for you? Like, you were kind of iffy on the Shane versus Owens stuff going in, even though Shane looked pretty good last week in the brawl. Colin, do you think this sold you on the match now? Like, you're invested?
I mean, I've enjoyed Shane McMahon's matches as of late. I enjoyed when he faced Shane at WrestleMania 32. I enjoyed when he was in the Survivor Series match. I'm pretty sure I'm leaving one out. Oh yeah, his match with AJ Styles, which was, pun intended, phenomenal. So I mean, I've enjoyed his matches, and I think with Owens being a great performer, I think it'll be a great match. So I was already kind of sold on the idea of it, but I mean, I'm definitely more interested in the story going into this now. I mean, my jaw dropped as soon as I saw Vince start bleeding. I'm just like, holy shit, Owens is fired.
Immediately. And they shot it actually pretty damn well. And they panned in, and immediately you could see it. Logan, what did this brighten your day? Pretty much. Like, this was obviously the best part of SmackDown for me, besides probably the tag team title match.
If this did not brighten your day in the wrestling world, then you must be living under a rock like Colin. Plain and simple. But I will say, if you think about it, Vince McMahon bringing this whole new, unique aspect to the feud, it gives it a reason to even care. And Kevin Owens is just shining as a star, and there's nothing that can stop Kevin Owens from going over the top after this feud.
I agree. I think it's going to do nothing but good thing. I mean, let's look at the track record. Let's take Zach Gowen out of the equation. No other guys really coming to my head. Pretty much any guy who's ever worked with Vince did good business and came out better, I would say. Maybe the versus God stuff at Backlash with Shawn Michaels was horrible. Besides that, Zach Gowen and versus God, anything with Vince, I mean, it's done nothing but help a guy for the most part. And it's great that
I have one name in mind, Drew McIntyre.
There you go. I knew I was forgetting one. I knew as well. I mean, he didn't really feud with Vince. He was kind of like that handsome, but still, yeah, it counts. And
Well, I mean, feuding with Vince, no, most people typically they come out looking better, but like doing anything with Vince will have its downside, and that was the case for Drew McIntyre. But I mean, hey, he's NXT champion now, so I suppose it all worked out in the end.
Yeah. Bigger things coming out of Smackdown tonight, guys, before we move along. AJ Styles, Ty Dillinger, U.S. Open Challenge. Well, it was promised last week on SmackDown. Styles would give him the shot. On Sin City Smackdown, by the way, we forgot to mention it was called this, and they had a graphic for it and everything all night. So they really jazzed up this show, and they knew they were going to get some eyes with the Mae Young Classic, and that was across the boards tonight on every show. I feel they did stuff that got your attention because they knew more people were watching tonight. But the tag title match, good, very good stuff. I know we complain a lot about even Steven booking. Oh, I really don't know how I feel about why they flip-flopped it again. I mean, as long we get consistently good and different matches from these. The key word is the matches feel different, for me at least, every time I watch them. I don't know about you guys, between the New Day and the Usos.
Definitely feels a lot better, a lot different. And you can definitely tell it's going to be inside a Hell in a Cell. And I think this should be the final match together.
I would agree.
I wouldn't be mad if they just kept feuding forever. Like I've never sat down, watched a New Day and Usos match and thought, man, that sucked. They always and consistently put on fantastic matches with each other, and they're always different in some way.
Dare I say,
their first match was terrible.
It was. It was a little. It wasn't terrible, just a little sloppy. They're getting a feel again, I think, to work with each other. And I think that these two teams are like the modern day equivalent of like they're peanut butter and jelly in that ring. They're kind of like when the Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation. Those two teams went hand in hand. When you think about one, you kind of think about the other. And these two teams are turning into that, I think. But the good match. I do want to say one thing. The free fall spot. Yes, it's cool and I liked it. But now, logically, the more I think about it, does it make sense? Because it's a free fall. You're meant to be caught, not to inflict. So I don't. Moves like that. So maybe I'm splitting hairs, but I don't know. What do you think about the free fall thing, Logan?
Sorry, the thing was lagging on me again. I would say the free fall move itself, it worked the first time he did it, and now he's just being caught every time. It's kind of, if you think about it, why would anybody take that move seriously after the last couple times that he's done it? He's been caught. It makes no sense. Why would you continue to do it?
I think what it is, Colin, for me is that okay, if it's meant to be a silly thing because he's in the New Day, that's one thing. But if he's meaning to make this serious, that's kind of negating the point of it. So, like, if it's a silly thing for me, it gets a pass because that's what the New Day would do to Showboat, I guess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I enjoyed the counter to it. I mean, I noticed that they botched. They were probably supposed to send him over the thing, but he just kind of missed. But I mean, yeah, I enjoy the spot. But after a while, people are going to realize, okay, let me just... Honestly, I would just move out of the way and let Kofi just break his spine on the way down.
Is it going to turn into like when Flair climbed the rope, you always knew he was going to take a body slam off that shit? Every time.
Probably.
Other than that, that's all I got on SmackDown besides Dillinger and Styles, which is a really good match. Pretty much continuing, and Styles gets the win. And
I got
go ahead.
I got two more things for SmackDown, and that's it. James Ellsworth was on commentary wearing a dog collar. Is this WWE's version of feminism?
Is it Mad Dog Vachon?
I just wanted to know. And Rusev cut a promo tonight saying that he was going to break a legend. If you look down, go ahead, Colin.
I was disappointed. Okay, first of all, when he said that, I was thinking, okay, we're going to get a Rusev match tonight, and that never happened. But I was disappointed because I was thinking, okay, they're in Vegas. Who would you associate being like from the Strip? The Godfather. We're going to get Rusev versus the Godfather, and I was totally on board with that happening.
Well, I mean, if he's going to break a legend, is this the next version of Heath Slater a couple years ago before WrestleMania? And
God.
if you look up and down the SmackDown roster, They better just make a call to Pete Rose.
Am I a horrible person? Okay, do you guys know who Betty Skoland is? The wife of the late Arnold Skoland, who always sits at ringside. It's that old woman John Cena hugs after every pay-per-view match. She has white hair.
Yeah.
Okay. What if
I know
Rusev
of
attacked her to get eyes? That would get people's attention.
No, that would get the wrong kind of. If you have Rusev beat the merciful shit out of an old lady, that's not going to get him the attention he needs. That's
Worked for the Dudleys.
That's the kind
Worked
of
for
thing
Bubba Ray Dudley when he did it to Mae Young.
Yeah, but times have changed.
They
This
have.
is the kind of thing that is going to get the mainstream media involved, saying wrestler beats the shit out of an old lady, and people are going to be like, "The fuck goes on in that company?"
And also, Mae Young was still, for an old woman, she was always like this atomic, bionic, tough as nails lady you could do anything to. Betty Skoland's just a widow of a former wrestler who died decades ago. It's a little bit.
I mean, Mae Young used to cuss out people if they didn't want to do it. She literally cussed out Bubba Ray Dudley for even questioning, do you really want to go through with this?
Kind of like Vince probably did tonight backstage. Oh, it's right. Just fucking do it, pal. Just right between the eyes. You knew Vince had to be just give it to me, point blank.
No, and then he got up off of his knees in front of Roman and said, "Kevin, headbutt me."
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you guys, other than that, tidbits from Smackdown you want to talk about? What did you think of the shows in general tonight?
I thought the United States Championship match, I thought good match. I enjoy that Dillinger was finally getting something to do. I don't like that he's literally the only man to ever tap out to the calf killer now twice. But other than that, I thought SmackDown was a good show.
I think I have to agree to disagree, but I'll disagree to agree with Colin. But I also think Dolph Ziggler's thing is kind of growing on me.
I love that.
I
love Ziggler's midlife crisis gimmick he's got going on. It's the fucking greatest. When he came out as Shane in the opening, I laughed. It was great.
The Charlie Haas impersonator gimmick. Yeah, the Warrior thing, I did see a gif of that on my Twitter timeline tonight. Other than that, real quick, I do want to talk to you guys because I'm not doing another regular Slam Pig show to talk about Raw or anything for like another week or so. Asuka was announced last night, real quick, guys. She's coming. The vignette, I got to give it to him. It was badass. It was like a great build. It was just ominous and it was cool. Do you guys think Raw was the right fit or SmackDown?
Raw.
I think Raw's probably like where the bigger names are, at least. I mean, sure, you have Charlotte on SmackDown, and I'm sure a Charlotte versus Asuka match will happen eventually. But I mean, right now, Raw, I feel like, has the bigger names for the women's division. To be honest, I didn't even know it was happening. I fell asleep during the Bray Wyatt Goldust match, not because I thought Raw was boring. It's just because I had been up to like.
Fucking dare you fall asleep through a Goldust match?
No, don't.
Are you insane?
No, don't get me wrong here. I love Goldust. He's one of my like top 5 favorites ever. It was because I had been awake for 30 plus hours. I had not had any sleep, and I just crashed on my couch. It wasn't because of Goldust and Bray Wyatt. It's just because bad timing.
I love how the payoff was. Surprise! It's Dustin Runnels. No shit.
Yeah, I woke up and I was like, oh shit, what I missed, and then I went on like the YouTube channel just to like catch up with what I had missed after I'd fallen asleep, and he just starts rubbing the face paint off of Gold. I'm like, the fuck, what the hell is going on? First of all, when did Goldust turn into a face? Wasn't he a heel like a week ago?
You see what they should have done when they rubbed the face paint off? It should have been Betty Skoland as Goldust. That should have been the swerve.
Bray Wyatt versus Betty Skoland.
Yes. And a gimmick. The loser loses their gimmick. She can no longer be a Skoland. I don't know where we're at. Let's go right into the finals. After all these, like, they didn't even give us weeks of these Mae Young Classic finals, guys. What we're talking about. They gave us like binge seasons on DVD right in one shot each time on the networks. It's like, watch it all in a week. Cram it in on top of all the other 15,000 fucking hours of wrestling we give you. But for the most part, I watched most of it. What I saw, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Some things I fucking abhorred and hated. Lita comes to mind. A few.
Lita was
A
fucking
few
terrible.
women didn't set my world on fire, but other than that, the two women guys we've gotten in the finals, obviously Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, Baron Corbin. What did you guys think of the match tonight? And I guess since we haven't talked about it on any show or anything, just the overall feel and how the tournament was handled. Logan.
I'll be honest with you, the tournament didn't set my world on fire, but I think this match tonight was well done. And it was I enjoyed that perfectly executed elbow drop at the end of the match.
The insane elbow, as they've named it now.
Yep, Jim Ross just makes any match, no matter how bad it is or good it is, just 10 times better.
Well,
and at the end of the day,
wait, was it just me, or during Kairi Sane's entrance tonight, he went, "She's a pretty princess," or something like that? I was like, what? What did he just say? Is he drunk?
Well, he's putting her over, Travis. Come on.
Yeah, I was a little worried, not gonna lie, Colin, when they made their entrances to crickets. I mean, look what they just followed, for fuck's sakes, with the Smackdown stuff, but
yeah. Well, the thing was, I think it was because they had done the rest of the tournament from Full Sail and then just shoehorned it into like the Vegas thing, and the crowd there. I mean, chances are, I'd have to imagine at least half of them have the network and like watch, but I mean that doesn't mean they watch the Mae Young Classic. Like, I guarantee you there was somebody in that arena who had no fucking clue who any of these people were, or even knew what the Mae Young Classic was. Like, that's the problem. They shoehorned it in between, and the other problem is I think it was bad timing because this match wasn't great. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't like it didn't like excite me that much. I thought it was good, but it wasn't great. But the problem is it was rushed because they were trying to fit it in between SmackDown and 205 Live, which I didn't think was a good idea. The tournament as a whole, I'm with Logan. It wasn't like, out of the tournaments they've done, this is definitely the worst. I mean, it was good. It's like, when I say it's the worst, I just mean it excited me the least each match.
And it kind of never had a chance because look at the UK tournament quality, for Christ's sakes. That may be the best thing they've ever done in years.
I still think the Cruiserweight Classic is the best tournament they've done. I think in order of like best to worst, it was the Cruiserweight Classic, then the UK, and now the Mae Young Classic. But I mean, even still, the Mae Young Classic, the women that they got for it were talented as shit. I mean, a lot of them came into this not really having a huge like their name wasn't that known to a lot of people, but I mean, after this, a lot of them gained like a lot of new fans. I know for a few of the names I already knew that were coming in were like, I knew Piper Niven, I knew Rhea Ripley, Dakota Kai, all of them, and they impressed me even more. And so I thought this was a great showcase for a lot of them. And for the ones that don't get signed, they now have like credibility to their name. They are more known now by like the indie people.
I agree, especially for someone like Tony Storm, who I'm telling you right now is going to break out. Tony Storm a year from now is going to be one of the biggest stars. I'm calling it with her. She definitely has something going, and she needs to just ride that momentum. And no,
I loved her pimp coat she had going on tonight. I thought it was great.
Yeah. The Kid Rock 99 code. The guys, they did it though. I you know what? I called everyone's bluff. I came out, I manned up, guys. I put a tweet out saying I was wrong. I was sure as the day was long. Last week, Colin, you and we had a little debate about it. I had an enormous chip on my shoulder going into this, but I was wrong. And it doesn't mark that down, Logan, in the Palm Pilot, that I was wrong. There's like probably 2 other times in there before that, months ago. See, I did a heel turn right there on your ass. I thought the match was good. Yes, and I totally agree. It was rushed. It felt rushed, and that's bullshit considering, you know what I mean, a fucking huge tournament like that, especially for like we gotta
considering the match, considering the length Perkins and Swan went. I'm pretty sure they could have shaved 5 minutes off of that fucking match and put it in the finals.
Right, and there's a hell of a lot of difference for rushing a match for a 205 Live episode. Like, if this should have been on the pre-show at No Mercy, or at least on No Mercy, why not? Why
I
not?
think the final should have been the main event of SmackDown. I mean, they could have easily cut the tag team match between Benjamin and Gable and the Hype Bros and Zack Ryder. I think Owens and McMahon either should have gone before the finals or opened the show.
You're
But I think
you're getting it all wrong, Colin. You're seriously getting it all wrong.
I only fear if they did it on the main event of SmackDown, we'd hear another fucking 8 months of them like saying how the women did it first, main eventing SmackDown, like we did when Sasha and Charlotte did, and it was crammed down our throats. And by the way, the Lillian, it was good. It was good to see Lillian, not for a long amount of time, but for a short spurt, that was good enough for me. But whatever she had to read was cringe city for me. I was just like, ugh. Oh, what the fuck? It was this just lame Hallmark card women empowerment bullshit that just makes you just kind of stray in a way when you hear shit like that. But thankfully we didn't stray. We sat through the match.
My thing is they did have a 12-minute promo before they even started the match, so they could have cut off at least 5
the vignette
or 6 minutes of that. Yeah.
It was like
before
2 or 3
the
minutes. I don't
match.
think it was 12 minutes.
Well, the match didn't start until 10, 12, 10, 13.
Was there an overrun with SmackDown too? Or I don't know.
No. Right after SmackDown, it legit went into Jim Ross and Lita, and then they showed the vignette, and I'm just like, okay, the fans are gonna get bored and just leave. Watch. You better start this damn thing.
I was very happy that the people stayed for the finals. I was really worried that a lot of the people would do what they do with 205 Live and just get up and leave. But no, a good majority of the people stayed, and I really enjoyed that because that was my big worry for having it after SmackDown.
And we talked about that should have been at Full Sail. Is credit to
I mentioned that too. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Should have been there.
Yeah, I agree with that too, but credit to these two women. I'm not a big Baszler fan, but they definitely had the crowd on their feet by the end of this. And I think that happens a lot on 205 Live too, as we saw later on in the TJP match. That got the crowd invested again because it was pretty good. Now, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Now, it's pretty much confirmed, I guess, Kairi Sane's getting the NXT women's title shot now. Question is how they're going to handle the challenger and with that whole route.
Actually, I said before the show, that she's getting the shot. Apparently, it's going to be a multi-women match.
Ooh.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, Kairi Sane, Peyton Royce,
Ember Moon.
I hope they don't do a battle royal, but I hope it's like a fatal 4-way, or hell, they've been on a fatal 5-way stretch. So I mean, I wouldn't mind one of those either.
Yeah, 6-pack challenge, something. Who cares?
Something like that.
They could pull it off. Those women are talented enough.
I want to see the fucking return of the championship scramble.
Yeah, that's been 2008 or 2009, I think, and it was only one time at Unforgiven that they did that, which is crazy because I kind of like that concept too. That's one of the pay-per-view DVDs I still own up on the collection. I have to pop that in sometime. It's been a while since I've seen the scramble match. But yeah, we'll see where they go with it. And that was the Mae Young Classic. Do you guys think that they're gonna do this every year? They didn't do it with the UK tournament. I don't think they're gonna do it again with the UK tournament. They obviously haven't done it with CWC. They got their own show. Are there rumors? I don't know if I've heard a lot of them about an all-women's weekly show. I don't know how that would pan out.
Well, they don't even have the funds to even do the UK show right now, so...
Yeah. Probably not. Probably not.
I mean, if they do, they could add it to the UK, or do take 205 Live, add it to the UK, and add the Mae Young tournament winners and stuff like that to the and do a all-together show. But that's just NXT basically.
Yeah. That was that, guys. We'll see. Congratulations, Kairi Sane. And the pirate gimmick's going to get over with kids as far as they're going to have little wheels in WWE shop or something that you can spin. They'll do something. And I think the obvious feud one day is her and Asuka, which at this point
it's not going to happen for a few years, but it's going to happen one day. And it could very easily be a WrestleMania match.
Maybe she's probably taking the mantle. Let's be real, for Asuka. In NXT. That took us to, this was a really weird feeling night from this Mae Young Classic right to a 205 Live where kicked off tonight, guys? Logan, what kicked off the show tonight on 205?
Well, 205 Live kicked off with the TJP versus Rich Swann, which for the past couple months we've had this big feud between the two, and it's come down to this match, I guess, and I think these two put on a better match each time around. Like they always tried to go out there the following night after having a match and try to one up the match from last week or whatever, and I think they've done that.
I'm going to get out my giant ladle, and I'm going to stir the shit. Logan, you wanted your chance at redemption, your heel turn. Colin hated this match. He tweeted it out, how boring it was and how fucking much he despised it or something, and he was not a fan.
I wasn't a fan. I thought it was long. I thought it was boring. Basically how Sex with Logan would be.
Oh my god.
Oh, I was gonna say if it was that boring, it would be as boring as your fucking. Oh, you were just pissing me off tonight. I swear to God. Oh, you're pissing me off. Oh, your podcasting is as boring as fucking the Mae Young tournament.
Logan, is that the sound of you hawking up?
To have me on. Fuck you.
Oh.
He's hawking up via satellite.
No, I mean, there was a point in the match where, I can't exactly describe it in great, this will be a shitty explanation, but hear me out. There's a point in the match, and it happens in almost every match, where they go at it, hit after hit, and then they both just fall, and they're on the mat together. And typically in every match ever, there's always, applause and cheers and, some noise. No, I don't know if anyone else knows that they felt there was nothing. I thought the arena had blown up, and it was silent. It was a boring match to me. It got better near the end, but I mean, for the first 80% of this match, I was just like, when is this thing gonna end?
Yeah.
Number one, Colin. Okay, I thought you liked when there's two guys on a mat. Number two, okay, listen, Linda, listen. If you're talking boring. Come on now.
Who
if that match is boring,
did somebody join the Skype call named Linda? I'm not aware of. Who are you talking to?
Oh my gosh! Shut up, Travis. Shut up. Let me do this.
All right.
Let me do this.
Just call me Lord Alfred Hayes, and I'm going to sit in the corner.
Colin, if you think this match was boring, that every dick spot that you enjoy watching and you drool while you're watching it on your television, on your laptop, on your phone. Go suck Joey Ryan's penis, because that's all you care about. Just go do that. Stop giving irrelevant opinions, because you said, well, this opinion's going to be, just bear with me. You give them every week, so just shut up.
I'm trying to think.
10 out of 10 Colin impersonation. Look at that. Go ahead, Colin. Sorry.
I'm trying to think, I'm thinking back to the match, and I'm trying to think, okay, am I wrong? Did I miss? No, I can't. I hear your point, and I can't agree. I thought this match was way longer than it needed to be, boring for most of it. I'm sorry. I love TJ Perkins and I love Rich Swann, and I think both of them are talented as hell, but I thought this match was just awful.
You love all men besides women, so just admit it.
You love all men besides women. The fuck does that even mean?
Here's the part where I sit on the fence and I call a timeout. I gotta say, I see both sides of it. I really do. I get Colin's point of view because they've done this feud for way too long. They've done this match a million fucking times. Yes, sometimes it's hard to fucking read between the lines. It all blurs together. I get that, especially following a finals from a 32-woman tournament, especially all the shit we saw on Smackdown with Owens. But on the other hand, for some reason, I guess because that celebration of the women with the roses and Sarah Del Rey and all that shit felt so rushed, like we said, Colin. I guess it didn't it was fine for me to just pick up the pace and watch the match. I guess I had nothing else to do. I just had my phone in my hand. Maybe it was just circumstances for people to. Maybe Colin was making food because he was eating off air too. Maybe he had shit going on. And quite honestly, when I see TJP and Rich Swann, the way they book them, most times I turn up, I do something else too. But for tonight, they had a good match. They've had better. They have had way better matches, I feel. But this was a good match. And glad there was a clean finish. And just, I hope it's fucking done. it. Wrap it up.
My point, the point that I'm trying to make is, okay, you, and this is no shot to you, Travis, but when you guys say that this match was the same thing that they've done before, well, the dick spot's the same damn thing too, but you think that's the best thing every time, and you think, oh, it gets even better. That's Colin. But when they
it does.
but when the match
When they add other
is
guys
the
to
same,
it, like make it 4 guys grabbing, it's like Pete Dunne,
Exactly.
Tyler Bate.
It's awesome.
We're gonna say we always say shout out to our buddy Broski, shout out to
Michael.
Midnight Jury, fuck Joey Ryan, hashtag free speech. Boom.
Where's Michael at? I need Michael.
Well, look at Logan pulling surprises, pulling the curtain back. We didn't know if Michael was possibly going to stop by. He's got some pool tournament stuff of his own going on. Maybe going to slip in, but I don't know. It's getting pretty late. He's probably home by now. He's got a small child, Logan. He's got things to do in the morning. But if he does come on, he'll just hop on the call. But
okay.
Yeah, but that was that. The crowd was on their feet for the finish of Rich Swann's little Phoenix Splash or whatever. And that was that. Other than that, was this Drew Gulak's little shot at Okada next, Logan?
Yes, his little PowerPoint presentation. His slide number 3 was no chance in hell. He liked to, like, pun intended, to Vince McMahon. The slide number 4 was no elaborate ring gear. And then you guys got to see the little Okada Easter egg in that little presentation. And there was actually, if you guys did not hear, there was a chant of Okada in the crowd.
You say Okada, I say Tekken. It looked like Armor King from Tekken to me. But I did see the Okada jacket on him.
And then the slide number 5 was no interrupting, and then he got interrupted by Breezango.
By Breezango? Who the fuck saw that coming? I
fucking love it.
Loved it.
They're mixing in heavyweights, even though Tyler Breeze is 1 pound over the limit, but they're mixing in heavyweights.
206. Colin looked this up off air, guys. 206. They bill him as. That's hilarious. They should just keep it at that and just let him in the division anyways. They could play off of an angle or something. But this was awesome. Always good to see these. Talk about 2 guys who a year and a half, 2 years ago, had just turned it around completely, just being allowed. Shocker to be them fucking selves, and it paid off. And one of the most over acts right now, maybe on New Day levels, not quite there at their prime, but they're getting there. And this, they add. I thought Captain Underpants was, it wasn't like ha ha ha, but it was, got a chuckle, got a funny chant, an Underpants chant, whatever. I wondered actually, Logan. I thought you might have hated this because I remember last week you getting fired up on the Gulak polls, which at the end of the show, I guess we'll get to if he had a poll this week. You think he should be taken serious as world title guy, but how did this sit with you? And the bondage handcuffs that were fuzzy purple, and the,
it was hilarious like hell. And I'm a big Drew Gulak fan. I like the gimmick. The gimmick's over. He can get cheered, and then he can get booed all at the same time. And in this segment, it got the crowd going. The crowd was excited to see Breezango. This was the chance to keep the crowd in the crowd and not them getting in their damn car and leaving. So, yes, good job, WWE. And for the 206, we might as well just call it 206 Live. Let's do it.
Well, that would ruin the gimmick, Logan.
Well, they ruin many gimmicks. It's not going to do anything on this one.
But yeah, I thought this was, and that's a great point. I thought they booked this very well. It beckons to the old days, like Dusty Rhodes or Eddie Graham booking, where like they would have their main events earlier, so the heels and babyfaces could get out of there, and they put their jobber matches on last, so the crowd just whatever. But there's still matches going on. It's like, we paid, we might as well stick around. That's what they did here to keep people there for the Cedric Alexander stuff we'd see later, basically. Which another payoff. Look at that. What did you feel about this Breezango stuff, Colin? Before we move on.
I thought it was great. I said last week, I'll say it again. They need to start mixing in people not in the cruiserweight division. And Tyler Breeze loosely, fits that description. It works. And, the Fashion Police are massively over with everyone. So I thought it was great. And I thought the segment itself was hilarious too, because I enjoyed the whole it makes sense. They say, he's Captain Underpants, and then you have the fashion police come out and, yell at him. That's what works, and that's what makes things like this funny. And for the record, I want to just state I didn't catch the Okada thing, so I went on Twitter and I found it, and it's not even a maybe. No, they flat out ripped off Okada and the Tekken character. Like, that's not even close.
It's like those two had a baby. Like the Tekken character with an Okada jacket DLC or something.
No, that's not even DLC. In Tekken, you can
equip
Okada's jacket.
Yeah.
It's in the game.
And plus, they're in a Yakuza game, like all those New Japan guys in the store, which is awesome. I still haven't played that, though. I want to so bad. Okada's making his way into a lot of games. It's funny and awesome at the same time.
Oh, by the way, I just want to point out, technically also, the first instance of letting a cruiserweight wrestle outside of the cruiserweight division happened. They had Enzo Amore on Raw face The Miz. And, well, in a way, it's kind of there because Enzo, he's wrestled The Miz hundreds of times and he's, barely in the cruiserweight division himself. It still kind of works. And they're letting them go outside of the cruiserweight division.
And do they listen to our goddamn show? Because this guy, the newbie, called that last week. That was one of your bullet points. You wanted to get through the listeners' thick skulls that they need to do that more. That's what got cruiserweights over back in WCW days, like we talked about. And it's funny, lo and behold, the first time they've done that is the next week. So turn it in. I'm glad we brought you on for a reason. Look at that. Whichever way the wind blows. I would like to see. I could see a Rich Swann, maybe an Intercontinental title feud down the line too. Maybe, I don't know. Some other guys. We'll see.
I mean, Cedric Alexander. He's a perfect example of someone who can wrestle in both divisions and would be believable as a heavyweight champion, U.S. champion, cruiserweight champion. He could do it all.
For some reason, I can picture Cedric having really good matches with Rusev. I think those two would complement each other really well because we saw it with like Gable. I don't know. Speaking of Enzo, look at this guy giving the segues and stuff. We got a backstage vignette, a recap of that, what you just said from Enzo, and then we saw it shot to after the match with Enzo, all his shit. So, by the way, in that segment, in the whole match, how was Enzo the babyface? For fuck's sake, the Miz simply went out there and just announced the fucking.
That's another thing. I woke up after I woke up like 10 o'clock, so I mean it was over because I'm on the West Coast. It was over for me, and so I woke up and I was like, "Holy fuck! The Maurice is pregnant? Okay, sure." And then I saw the whole like story that they were doing. I'm like, why the fuck is Enzo the babyface? What's happening? You can't just be like, "Hey Maurice, did you fuck somebody else?" And we just be like, "Yay, cheer for me."
And that's exactly what they did. Unfortunately, the "Who's your daddy" line. The mid-match promo between the Miz, and I thought both did well for what it's worth and what they were given. I think this was more a case of this just how it was written, just made Enzo look like a piece of shit, which that's another thing in the news. Liv Morgan and Enzo are on the outs. Apparently, Enzo also is Captain Underpants and can't keep his thing in his underpants and has strayed. How do you cheat on Liv Morgan?
Okay, for the record, I heard that they broke up months ago because he moved to LA and she wanted to stay in Jersey. So I don't think that tweet had anything to do with Enzo. I mean, it might have, but I don't think it's like a recent thing. So that's my two take. I do have to step away for 1 second. I'm sorry to have to do that, but I will be right back.
Oh, thank God. Travis, you said wherever the wind blows, it blew him away. Thank God almighty.
Oh, trust me, I'll be back to do your job for you.
There's no way in hell Mr. Irrelevant could do that.
No problem, man. Just hop on back when you can. Logan, what did you think of the stuff? And then it shot back to and by the way, Enzo lost clean to the Miz, which I feel was the right call, and that was fine by me. Because the cruiserweight guys, you never saw Mysterio beating a Nash. Jericho would transition to a TV champion back then, but he didn't win right away at first. I thought it was the right call, especially someone like Enzo. And the Miz definitely needs that rub. He definitely does. But we got a clip backstage at Enzo, and I thought this was all right. Thank God for Neville. It shot to Neville, who looked like a fucking character out of a fighting game. Let's be real. He just something about him lately. The crowd even gave a little reaction when they saw him on this vignette. You could hear them. He's getting himself He's totally reinvented himself, like you said, time and time again, Logan. But at the end of the day, I don't think this is going to be on the pre-show for once. This, of all the cruiserweight title matches with Austin Aries, Logan, this is going to be the one that probably fucking finally makes it. Can you believe that, Enzo? Where are we?
Are we in 2020?
Are we in purgatory? Is the question.
Are we in 17 BC or something? What the fuck is this? Come on now. Don't get me wrong. Good character, good promo, but he's just not the guy that's going to put on a phenomenal match that should be not on the pre-show. It should definitely be on the pre-show when it comes to Enzo Amore.
But you gave me a DM on Twitter or Facebook or whatever this week about the ratings. The viewership is up with Enzo since he's came on.
He draws.
Draws?
Yes.
Paralyzed draws or he
where?
draws?
He brings in an audience.
He does. It's proven. And look, the 2 or 3 weeks now, the eyes are there. It's going to last is the question. In this day and age, more than likely it doesn't. We'll see. Welcome back, Colin.
Thank you. My handicapped grandmother needed me, so I feel like it was a justified step away.
Logan, how can you be a heel on a guy that's helping his grandmother? For God's sake, you are a true fucking heel. I can't believe. I'm shocked. I am shocked.
Well, I mean, you could always ask her if she could do the podcast because I think she would be a lot better than Colin. And she probably don't even watch WWE.
She does. No, she's one of the people who found out it was fake and has hated it ever since.
Oh God.
Well, your grandmother, I love her. I love her so much.
Shout out to your grandmother, Colin.
Thank you.
And welcome back, like we said. Just wrapping up on our thoughts on the Enzo stuff. At No Mercy, I was just saying it's funny, out of all the things we got in Austin Aries and all that, always being on the pre-show, this may be the first one to make it on the actual pay-per-view, which is ironic.
But
and
it's fucking ludicrous.
Yeah.
That Aries and Neville rode the pre-show for like 3 straight pay-per-views, and this is probably going to be the one where it makes it on the main card.
Bullet point number 1. This is a jab at Austin Aries for what he did and why he left and all that. If Enzo Amore and Neville is going to be on the main card. Bullet point number 2, like I said before, when Colin was stepped out to help his grandmother, that I, for one, think that good promo, good gimmick, but just Enzo Amore is not the guy that should be facing Neville on a main card. It should be the pre-show.
Shout out to Megan Starr, who's popped in the chat. We are streaming late, so not a lot of visitors tonight. But Megan says, "Calm down, fuckers," or to you, Logan, calling you DJ Lego King, your other gimmick under a mask. Welcome, Megan. Thank you for stopping by. Other than that, where did that take us?
I was just going to let you know, Travis, and let everybody, the listeners know, the viewers, that that I got the top 10 most watched shows on the WWE Network for last week, and top 10 was actually 205 Live from 9/5 was actually the most watched at number 9. Can you believe that?
And it was, what was the old, it was like in the 30s, I think a couple weeks ago or something. A month or two ago, we called it on the show. We looked it up.
Yeah, it was not even close to being in the top 20. But 205 Live has been viewed on the WWE Network at a big percentage since Enzo Amore has debuted in the Cruiserweight division. And I think if you add Tyler Breeze and Breezango, I think you're going to get even more people viewing.
We then got it.
For the record, you can only add Tyler Breeze. You can't add both because Fandango was like 250. So
he don't have to wrestle, you dumbo. He can just be the manager. He can just stand there and cheer for his friend.
You hashtag Dumbo. That we also got a backstage clip here of Mustafa Ali playing with his hair like 15 times. You can make a drinking game out of this backstage clip with him and Cedric Alexander in his funny little shirt with purple lapels and green highlights. I don't know where I'm going with this, but at this point they're kind of just getting all the juice out of this episode. It was getting late. This is just a segment everybody could live without. I don't think it really progressed anything. Just about, I can't believe you haven't done anything. Man up, Cedric. You dominated last week. Go beat Enzo's ass. It was pretty much this. I don't. Is Cedric going to turn heel on Enzo? I don't. I may not have said that last week, but considering what we saw at the end of this show, I'm not going to lie. It was Cedric Alexander, Jack Gallagher, or I'm sorry, Brian Kendrick. I guess that was the main event this week. I immediately went to catch up on Smackdown when I saw this was announced because it's Brian Kendrick, and I honestly I wanted to see the Owens stuff. I just wanted to catch up, but I did come back in time for the Gallagher stuff at the end. But guys, Logan, take it away. What happened? What went down? How was the match? All that good shit.
The Brian Kendrick versus Cedric Alexander was piss poor performance. It was piss poor TV. The Brian Kendrick makes me puke like Collins from podcasting. He makes me want to go jump in a big pile of thumbtacks and take a Mick Foley bump. Exactly. My exact words.
Oh, shout out to Mick Foley's successful knee surgery today.
Good job, Foley. Keep on going. Get that limp away. The bigger news that's coming out of here is that Jack Gallagher turned heel and attacked Cedric Alexander. And in my opinion, it's shock, headbutt, repeat.
The Night of Headbutts, as this night will be known. We should have just called it the episode Headbutt. This screamed early 2000s Regal to me. I saw this nasty side we'd never seen in Jack Gallagher. Was he a heel in progress?
No, he had been like a pure babyface this entire time, and I think it's one of those things where he was like, okay, being a babyface has gotten me nowhere so far, and so maybe if I just switch my mood around, I'll get somewhere. Like, I think it's one of those things because as you saw, he shook hands with Kendrick, who the week prior, like 2 weeks prior, just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where it's like, if you can't beat him, join him.
It was also like, I think they noticed backstage, and I don't know the credit to him or the booking, but Jack Gallagher wasn't getting good reactions when his music would hit that. And I think someone probably said, like, well, jazz him up, try him as a heel, see how he works, see if he has it in him. It was okay. It wasn't that bad. I could see him definitely running with this, Logan. What did you think about Jack Gallagher's little swerve here at the end of 2 of 5? Logan.
You were going in and out, Travis.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if I was having lag issues or not. I was just saying, what did you think of the swerve here with Gallagher's heel turn, Logan, to close out the show?
Well, like I said, shock, headbutt, repeat. No more smiles for the gentleman. And the questions that might be on a lot of people's minds is this how Jack Gallagher becomes a star? And is this something to keep an eye on? People want seriousness. Well, you just got it.
Look at this guy. He's just a with promos, babyface and heel tonight. That was 2 of 5 live. That was the entire night, all the shows combined. I'd give it a thumbs up. I would say I would definitely, if anything, go out of your way to check out the women's match. Of course, it was pretty good. The tag team title match, and probably the Styles match, and definitely check out the Owens segment. Other than that, that was the night, guys, and that was Cruise Control Classic. Guys, we did it.
Yes, we did. Me and Travis did it. Thank you, Travis.
Oh, come on, Logan.
What? I'm giving you compliments, Travis. What do you want from me?
I want you to tell everybody, and real quick, once again, thank you to Megan for stopping by the chat. And I want you to tell everybody where they can check you, your brand new episode that just dropped today with the man himself, Broski, for First Thing in the Morning on YouTube. Where can they find your ass, Logan? You luscious son of a bitch.
You guys can find me on YouTube at Future Wrestling Podcast alongside Broski. We just put out a new video called Old School Edition, The Rock. So you guys check that out. It's a good show. Good atmosphere. Okay. You guys can check me out on Twitter at LoganMyers144. And go ahead, Mr. Irrelevant. Tell everybody where they can check you out. Probably a dick spot on YouTube somewhere with you on it. I don't know.
Well, Mr. Irrelevant just plugged himself, so, the star of the show will go now. You can check me out on Twitter at UberTieGuy. You can check me out on James Hebert's channel, James Hebert Side 95, at the Pro Wrestling Roundtable. And here, I do things here now. But other than that, that's where you can find me.
Yeah, that's the way to plug your shit. Oh, I do things here. I do things here.
Even though I'm on the show, I still have to plug the show.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you both, as always, for joining me right here on Hibiki TMD. And I want to thank you for letting me be the cream filling between the salt sandwich and you two tonight, and the mediator, and the Jerry Jarrett to your shoot interview with Jim Gordon, all that shit. But you can follow me on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD. Check out the reset button if you're into retro gaming. Slam Pigs podcast is coming back next week. Michael returns. And, of course, right here, Slam Pigs Cruise Control. And on Kayfabe Today podcast with my man Broski at first thing morning once again. And Grapple Listen on Grapple Vision. Until next week, Colin, thank you, my man. As always, take care, buddy. And Logan, I will talk to you sooner than later.
Of course. I'm bowing like Corey Graves. Bowing like Corey Graves.
In all seriousness,
that's actually what I did too. I'm not even gonna lie.
In all seriousness,
I do want
to thank both of you guys. In all seriousness, take your time doing the show. I know it's late. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out here next week. Slam Pigs Cruise Control.
USAA to me means peace of mind. We had a power outage for 5 days total. We lost a lot of food.
If you write